Welcome to Big Blend Radio with your hosts, Lisa and Nancy, editors of BigBlendMagazine.com.
Hey everyone, happy Music Monday. We like a Music Monday.
I like that.
Everybody needs music on a Monday, and it is April 17th, 2023. Welcome to the latest episode of the Big Daily Blend podcast. We are recording from Lubbock, Texas. It's a beautiful spring season here.
Yeah, it is.
The wind has died down. It's beautiful
everywhere.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So it may be Music Monday. And of course, we've got our playlist, our music playlist. I call it the daily soundtrack, that we curate from all the celebrations of today, the history, music anniversaries, you name it. We create something from it. It's pretty amazing what we find. So those links for the playlist on Spotify and YouTube are in our show notes, as well as other articles and recipes and puzzles and things that have to do with today. So today is National Crawfish Day.
Oh.
Yeah. So Louisiana is, actually today kicks off.
You get a line, I'll
boot
get a
week.
pole.
It's a boot week in Louisiana. They're cleaning up Louisiana, keeping Louisiana beautiful. Starts this week. We have a interview with Arlene and Felicia over in Natchitoches, Louisiana, talking about the Fort St. Denis. Now that's tomorrow, Tuesday, so stay tuned for that, April 18th. But Louisiana, man, crawfish is their big deal. Crawfish pie, like, you know.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. This is the mud bug, you know.
I know the mud bug.
So basically, it is a small freshwater cousin of the lobster. And so it's in a lot of different southern dishes. You can bake it, broil it, season it, all that good stuff. And most people do it as a crawfish boil. And they throw it on paper towels or on newspaper outside with some corn, and they get to it. Nancy and I don't know anything because we're allergic to shellfish and seafood and fish. Anything that swims in the ocean we can't eat.
No.
I don't even know if we can eat seafood, like not seaweed. But for those who enjoy it, today is the day. So our first song on the playlist is Crawfish Jambalaya from Clifton, Chenier, with Elvin Bishop and Steve Miller all jamming in. We got more Steve Miller on the playlist as well to kick off this Monday morning with you. Well, you could be listening in the evening, but you got to listen to music, period. Speaking of more food, today is National Cheese Ball Day.
Oh, I'm into that.
Now, I would have thought that this would have been more around the holiday season, because that's kind of when you see the big cheese ball out, you know, at holiday parties. But then it's spring and wine season is in. It also is Malbec Day. So that's good.
Nice too.
So I kind of like this balance. National Cheese Ball Day, though, isn't just about the big ball of cheese.
It should be.
Which we do have a great recipe from Ruth Milstein. She has a recipe, and it's in the show notes, the link to it. Walnut-covered cheese ball.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like it.
So it's really about, you know, the big cheese ball, but the cheese puff is also accepted into this.
Well,
so you've got, it's a little, you know, they say that the puffed corn snack coated with a mixture of cheese or cheese-flavored powders is okay. So does that mean we get to go have Cheetos? I mean, does Cheetos count as a cheese ball?
No, but
it's
a
not the
cheese
puff.
It counts as a cheese puff.
Okay, both.
Yes, it's the ultimate.
All right. Well, anyway, I say eat cheese, and so we've got a cheese song on the playlist. Come on, you know, and it's not Who Cut the Cheese.
I was just going to say, Who Cut the Cheese?
No, it is Cheese from the Floozies, from their 2019 Live at the Tabernacle album. So check that out. It's some nice funk electronic jam in there. But it is Malbec World Day. They say Dia Mundial del Malbec. This is to commemorate the day the first agronomy school, excuse me, I can't pronounce it. Somebody pass the coffee, please, or bring the Malbec. It was founded in Argentina for the study of European grapes, including the Malbec grape. And this took place April 17th in what year? 1853.
Wow.
Argentina was getting it on with Malbec. And that was the same year that Argentina's president, Domingo Faustino Sarmiento, asked a French soil expert to bring new grape varietals to his country. So in 2011, Wines of Argentina established April 17th as Malbec World Day. Awesome. So some little wine music for a Monday, I say.
Yes.
So we're going to have the Rolling Stones on the playlist with the song Pass the Wine, Sophia Loren. And this is from their album Exile on Main Street. Cool. I like it. So that's on the playlist. Moving on to nature and conservation. Bats. Today is International Bat Appreciation Day, and
Bats
this is
so cool.
They're saying this is one of the best times of the year to see bats because they're coming out of hibernation,
and they eat all the mosquitoes. People leave them be.
Well,
they're good.
You're really right. They say in 1 hour a bat can eat up to 1,000 mosquitoes.
Yeah, they do. They clean it up.
So if you have a pool in your backyard, when we lived out in the desert, we had a pool. Man, we used to sit out in the pool and watch the bats dip down for water.
Leave them alone. They're good.
They say some species of bats live up to 40 years. And they're really more about eating insects than humans and anything like that.
They don't eat humans.
They're not about sucking your blood. I really suck your blood. But they say there's 1,200 species of bats in the world.
And we need
that we know of.
They are one of the biggest insect control lures.
They say, 70% of the bats are insectivores. And as pollinators, bats, along with bees and butterflies, provide a vital link to our food supply. They are super important, and I think because they're bigger, they probably do even more than what we think, They say 40% of American bat species, and we have 48 species in this country, are in severe decline. Some of them are already listed as endangered and threatened.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Some states have got an official state bat. Texas and Oklahoma have one, and Virginia have them. So some people are getting on board. So I think we need to do whatever we can for bats.
And just remember, they're really not vampires.
Yeah. So we want to love them, but there is the song "De Bat Fly Me in Me Face" from Carly Simon. It's a fun song from Carly Simon. It's from her 1978 album "Boys in the Trees." Now, come on, Nancy and I lived in Africa, and we played with bats all the time. Big ones. When we lived in Tucson, we'd get those giant bats that would come out and drink from the hummingbird feeders.
They're not giant.
They were big, but they're the ones getting the nectar and would go, and they helped pollinate the saguaro cactus.
Absolutely.
So this is a very important time.
Just leave them alone.
But the Carly Simon song is fun, and it is after a bat flew in her face by accident, and because she had them in her house, but she didn't hate the bats. She liked them. She's just like, can you stick to your side of the house kind of thing.
In her house?
Yeah, it happened, but it can. But she's got James Taylor on it. We've got Crusher Bennett and Rubens Bassini. Luther Vandross is in the background vocals too. Ken Williams, James Taylor, John Hall, Roderick George. So yeah, it's a fun song. It's a fun song to listen to. But bats are cool. All right, it's also National Haiku Poetry Day. Do you remember writing haiku poems in school? Did you do it?
Oh, I remember one teacher trying to explain it to us, and then we looked at him like, you don't even know what you're talking about. Because he's like, haiku.
Haiku.
You didn't say haiku, haiku.
Maybe he's right.
I don't know. Maybe
he could. I have a feeling. It is a form of Japanese poetry, so he's probably right. And it's non-rhyming and usually
I've never heard anybody else say haiku.
Well, you could be right. It's non-rhyming, usually consists of 3 lines with a syllable pattern of 5, 7, 5. And it's really about little moments, like a moment in nature, a kiss, little things. Ooh, sensory language is what they say, to capture a feeling or a moment. And so, of course, I've got a haiku song, believe it or not.
Okay.
From the Ann Arbor, Michigan band called Tally Hall. Their song is Haiku, and it's from their 2005 album, Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum.
Okay.
I want to go to Marvin's. It's
Who's
a fun
Marvin?
Song. I don't know. I think we better meet him. He's got a mechanical museum.
Or not.
They say it's marvelous. So today is also National Ellis Island Family History Day, and it is a day to encourage family history research and all of that good stuff. And I think this is funny because yesterday we aired Steve Schneikert Hollywood History segment on Charlie Chaplin about the song, the movie The Immigrant. Charlie Chaplin was born yesterday. It was his birth anniversary, so it made sense to do so. And of course, here it is now. The Immigrant is about Ellis Island, which is part of our National Park Service. So anyway, Ellis Island, this is about researching from 1892 to 1924. This was the busiest inspection station for millions of immigrants coming to the United States. But on this day in 1907, so April 17th, 1907, 11,747 names passed through Ellis Island.
Wow.
It was the busiest day of immigration in the station's history. So now over 1 million immigrants have been listed through Ellis Island.
Hey, the Statue of Liberty said, bring me your poor, your downtrodden, you're this and you're that. Come on
you're
down.
This and you're that. Come on down.
And come on down.
She had that accent? Really?
She said, come on down.
She was holding the torch going, come on down.
Come on down.
And then everybody dived into the water? Like what?
Yeah.
No.
So they all came here.
Really?
And then everybody went, uh-oh.
Yeah. But, okay, so anyway, in case you missed yesterday's Big Daily Blend podcast, I've got the link for Steve Schneickert's The Immigrant Hollywood History segment. It's fun. His stuff is always good. But I've also got the song Ellis Island by Marc Cohn that is up on the links in the show notes as well. So speaking of travel, Ellis Island involves people traveling a lot through, think about the Mayflower and all of that too. Travel history on this date, both of these things happen on the same day, April 17th, 1964. At New York's World Fair, the Ford Motor Company unveiled the Ford Mustang. Rev your motors. But on the same day, Jerry Mock became the very first woman to circumnavigate the world by air.
Wow.
Right on. So, of course, we've got the music Fly Like an Eagle by the Steve Miller Band.
There you go.
And on today's show, our regular Big Blend radio shows airs at 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Every day we got a show and an interview. Today's interview is with Brenna Moore from Visit Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Cool.
Saying what we can see, do year-round.
I love that.
Exactly.
It's a beautiful place, New Mexico.
I agree, and they have amazing bed and breakfasts. And we do a show every second Thursday about bed and breakfast in New Mexico.
It's just a beautiful state.
Well, I'm glad you say that because, it's desert, but then there's all these riparian areas and forests, like the Santa Fe National Forest, and that is the puzzle of the day.
It's not riparian, it's riparian.
Okay, wow, she's a happy girl. All right, moving on to some music history. Talk about 4 Beatles songs, but they're non-Beatles at this time, are in the playlist. On this day in history, 1971, so April 17th, 1971, each of the 4 ex-Beatles had a solo single on the UK charts.
Cool.
John Lennon had Power to the People. Paul McCartney, Another Day, with Linda McCartney, who also lost her life on this day in history, sadly.
Shame.
Ringo Starr, It Don't Come Easy, one of my favorites. And George Harrison, My Sweet Lord.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
All 4 are in the music playlist, again in the show notes. All those links are there. Keeping up with some birthdays and birth anniversaries, and if it is your birthday, we wish you a happy birthday.
Put another candle on the birthday cake.
And give me some cake. And some Malbec wine, right? And a cheese ball. And a cheese puff.
I guess it would depend on how old you are.
I think that on Monday mornings and Monday as a day that we should be able to eat anything we absolutely want.
It should be anything you want to eat day.
Yes, and play music and eat and
that should be a day. Eat
work.
Anything you want day.
Yeah, and yesterday was what? Go to your work in your pajama day? Like that was Sunday. And so that's just people working overtime. So I'm saying like extend that to today. So you get cake, you get wine.
It should be
cheese balls, cheese puffs,
day.
Music, All right, we're doing good. On this day in history in 1852, Cap Anson, the Hall of Fame baseball player, was born. Now, this goes close to our home. Karen Blixen, that is the pen name of Isaac Dennison, The author was born on this day in 1885. Her full name is Baroness Karen Christens von Blixen-Finecki. She was born 17th of April, 1885, and passed away on September 7th, 1962. She was a Danish author who wrote works in Danish and English. Her pen name is Isaac Dennison, but we all know Karen Blixen in English countries, and Tanya Blixen, used in German-speaking countries. So she's got all these different names, right? She is best known for Out of Africa. We've seen the movie with Robert Redford. The book is even amazing, amazing. If, I would
Absolutely.
say better. But it's about her account of living in Kenya. And she's also known for her stories Babette's Feast, also became an Academy Award-winning motion picture, both of them. She also wrote 7 Gothic Tales, Winter's Tales, Last Tales, Anecdotes of Destiny, and Erengard. She was considered several times for the Nobel Prize in Literature, but it wasn't awarded because judges reportedly were concerned about showing favoritism to Scandinavian writers. That was according to Danish reports. Who knows if it's true? That's just what I read on Wikipedia. But we actually used to live in the suburb of Karen, named after her, outside Nairobi in Kenya. And we lived in what was known her servants' quarters off of what her tea farm was,
The farm she had in Africa, we lived in...
Which became real estate later.
Yeah, we lived in the servants' quarters.
It was a cute little house with a nice garden.
One of the little houses...
Is that when we lived near the Leakeys?
Yes. Across the street, we lived across the street from...
Richard Leakey.
Louis Leakey, Richard, and, they had passed on by that time, but the son, Philip Leakey.
Philip Leakey, and his dog got our dog pregnant.
Yes.
Simba had puppies.
Yeah, Simba had... We
had puppies.
By the Leakey dog.
But, Kenya is beautiful, but it is rough. And so, of course, I wanted some music of Africa, and I just want Africa to be represented as a whole. And Johnny Clegg, who wasn't really born in South Africa, but did so much for African people and uniting cultures together. And our friend Brendan Ross used to tour with him and was keyboard and sax player. So I thought, let's play Scatterlings of Africa today.
You should explain we lived both in South Africa and Kenya.
Yes, we did.
So people know.
Yes, explain that. We lived all over the place. And now we travel full time, documenting parks and public lands. So go figure. Oh, and that leads me to the other part of the Africa thing today in our show notes. You'll see a link for an interview we did with Elsa Dixon from South Africa, who's a teacher and a travel writer, an amazing lady, about her book, Hippos, Hotspots, and Homelands. And she talks about Africa. It's her memoir of growing up. And she was the daughter of Piet Pompies, who is an Afrikaans comedian. And she's awesome. She's fantastic. Another lady who unifies people. And anyway, Scatterlings of Africa is on the playlist from Johnny Clegg
too.
Also, talking about writers, today is also the birth anniversary of Thornton Wilder, the playwright. He was born in 1897 on this day in Madison, Wisconsin. We love Madison. He was an American playwright and novelist. He won 3 Pulitzer Prizes for one for the novel The Bridge of San Luis Rey, which we actually used to live next to. Go figure, when we lived in California. And for the plays Our Town and The Skin of Our Teeth. He also won a U.S. National Book Award for the novel The Eighth Day. So he could create...
Well done.
Yeah. And then it's also some birthdays, more birthdays and birth anniversaries. William Holden, the actor, was born in 1918.
Oh, he's so cool.
I love this name, Harry Reasoner, the journalist. He's trying to reason with you, man. I was born in 1923. Rod Steiger, the actor, was born in 1925. Sean Bean, not related to Mr. Bean, was born. The actor was born in 1958. Jennifer Garner, amazing actor. She was born in 1972. Musically, Liz Phair was born on this day in 1967 in New Haven, Connecticut. She was raised by her adoptive parents in Cincinnati, Ohio, and Winnetka, Illinois, and became a 90s indie rock icon with her debut album, Exile in Guyville. It was like a feminist call, or like playback of the Rolling Stones' "Exile on Main Street," which, like I was saying, we have Pass the Wine on this playlist, so I figured we got to balance them out and have some of hers. And her song on there is "Never Said," again from "Exile in Guyville," which came out in 1993.
Cool.
And, yeah. The year we moved back to the States. So it all ties back. But we want to thank you all for joining us here on the Big Daily Blend podcast. Again, we're here every single day because we're daily, and we do it every morning, usually before noon, right?
Mm-hmm.
As soon as we can, we get this out, and we've got some amazing things coming up on this podcast with guests and panel discussions and a lot planned. So keep tuning in. Please follow us on Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, BigBlendRadio.com has a link for all of it there. And be sure to check the show notes for those articles, puzzles, music playlists. I hope you enjoy the playlists because they're super fun to put together, and then sit back and listen and go, yeah, man, some of the stuff I had no idea about these musicians. Some I really know well, and I just love playing music all day. All right, thanks.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I could play music all day long and drive and be really happy. Take care, everyone. Happy Monday.